You can holler at us. You can help us feel, just generally feel. Oh, bring me a higher love. All right. It's real.
Dude, I honestly get that song stuck in my head so much
Right?
from working. That's on the Goodwill radio like 3 or 4 times a day. So I'm just like, but it's the Whitney Houston. I'm like,
Yeah. Steve
it's a
Winwood.
good track.
Old Winnie Winwood. Steve Whitney Cummings Winwood.
Yep, it's true. It's her name.
All right. That's for you all. We're going to start on Radio Vegas Rocks right now. Thank you for witnessing our cold open. Prepare for the hot fresh open. Hot and fresh. That's right. It's real. This is Greasy Conversation, the talk show on Radio Vegas Rocks, where we take a look at dank news together and make sure that cool stuff in tech and science and psychology and wildlife and weird human behavior isn't lost on you, that you can be cool with your friends, and when they're talking about cool stuff going on, you won't be left out. That's the deal. Also, some of it's funny. So on that note, it's time for the greasy, wet submarine of news diving. Behold.
Where should
Welcome.
we start, man? Where should we start?
Let's start with asking you how your week was, and me too, and you have to ask me too.
It was fantastic. How was your week?
It was totally okay.
Awesome.
Dude, it was so okay. I hope
Those are the best kind of weeks when you know you're aiming for great, but it's just really, 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 really okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
superbly okay.
Can't ask for more than that, honestly.
What up, Buck? Correspondent in the chat.
I mean, if you do, you're just a little greedy Gus Goober.
Yeah, if you go over okay too much, it changes your whole level of standard, and then you're never satisfied, and then what?
It's true.
Sometimes when things are okay, it's just like such a relief that it turns out things are just okay. That's
true.
like plenty. Holla. Who's feeling okay? Yeah. Buck's had an awesome week. You don't know. That was
Awesome.
cool. The Buck stuff
Buck.
was, everything was really just great.
Well, you know what, Buck? That's great for you. Okay? I'm really, really happy for you.
It's just suspicious, and I'm just put off by it being like, it's too okay, and it makes me nervous.
Right.
And watch out. Not that I'm like willing less okayness upon anyone, especially myself, but you know, trucking. So on that note, we've got some weird news. There's been a lot of chat about the president's button. This is one of those episodes that could be gone back to in history to see amazing journalism. Hours I spent looking into the button that was on the president's desk, because there was so much misinformation about this. There's so much news that wasn't real, but like the real news is totally boring enough that no one went deep enough. So I found the real interesting bits
Yeah.
that people were sleeping on with this button. And there's like war and sunken ships and over 100 years of history and reclaimed wood. There's all kinds of stories behind it. I tracked down the button itself. I'm pretty sure I found the button that was used and dated the button, the actual push button unit in the box. So I think I've got like a timeline of its existence that hasn't been put in one place as far as I can tell on the internet. This might be like a legit scoop.
Yeah.
So I'm teasing that for now. We don't have to go into that right away.
All right. Perfect. Where am I at? No.
Where even are we?
Yeah. So, first, this is a real quick one, but it's a good Schadenfreude. Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Story. So, it's one of these where a guy, way back when, in the early dawns of mankind, when Bitcoin was only $2 each.
I think I know where you're going.
Yeah. So this guy, He was a programmer in Switzerland, and he bought over 7,000 bitcoins. Well, 7,002, so technically more than 7,000. When they were only $2 each. So now, of course, Bitcoin's up to 34.5K per Bitcoin.
Is this the guy that has two guesses?
Yeah, totally. So all these Bitcoins that are on this computer are worth $241 million or $241,569,000. $241,569,000.
Two guesses. It's like the worst game show that you did to yourself with your own money.
Yeah, he had a total of 10 guesses for this password.
Oh, and he blew.
And he only has 2 left. And like, so the question is that I wanted to pose to everyone out there, would you try the last 2? Would you just try one and then like wait till you're on your deathbed and then try the last one, knowing that you totally forgot by that point because there's no fucking hope for you then?
How do you, man, you'd be rethinking your life and how you store passwords. Like, you'd be thinking you'd wish you were a touch less secure. This is what happens when you sacrifice security for freedom. You deserve, I don't know how this relates.
Right. That's why I used to be super paranoid about that. So I'd get like really convoluted ways to create passwords that would like sink it in my brain, but I'd still forget them. So, I mean,
yeah, just try to have something else store my passwords.
yeah.
I'm not going to tell you guys what, but I don't remember them all.
You always should though. I don't know, man.
I can remember the ones I need to get to the things that remember them. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Where you only need to remember the one and then
Yeah.
you have access to all your others. Yeah. But what happens when someone gets that password and gets all your other passwords?
2-factor authentication. That's what. So they get that password, they go in, and it still has to like deal with my phone.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Now,
yeah.
if they get my phone and they're able to get my phone and my face to see each other just once. But like if I keep my eyes closed, I don't know, things get sketchy. or my like code on my phone, I do that on camera on a stream.
Right, so someone can
track
it.
And
What
then they get the phone.
Then there's just gonna be like a wave of like making molds of people's faces. Like you get kidnapped, not so they can just use you then. No, they want to make a mold, a mask of your face to unlock your phone.
Yeah, it's like elaborate. By then you've spent more money than you're going to be able to get out of having stolen my phone. There's a net loss with that investment.
Sucks to be you guys.
What's another easy beginning bite here?
Oh, let me see. Oh, I was just checking this out. These are the post-truth artifacts.
Oh, this is so good. So if you're doing the audio time, this is a good one to go back to our video stream. You can find links to it on all the platforms that we like and some platforms we don't like. On greasyconversation.com, you can click on this particular episode. So this person paints hyper-realistic things like this camera. Let me show you up closely. And he began painting these alternative artifacts in a style he calls post-truth realism. So this is a smartphone. What I'm looking at here, how would you describe this, Greg?
Okay, so this has the base of a typewriter on the bottom, and then there's like a antique rotary phone, and then it's got an antique camera on top of that, and then on top of that is the actual phone, the handle that you talk and listen to.
Yeah, all of it's all wooden and metal.
Yeah, it's all antique style.
Now this bent metal on the right, that's a really nice industrial design. Like that looks modern Swedish almost.
Yeah, and then it's got a nice hand crank on the side too.
Yeah, two different hand cranks. There's a big one and a little baby one down there too.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that.
There's a little clock right under the telephone dial and like this accordion style camera above it. So it's the typewriter at the bottom is a nice touch. It's an antique smartphone type 1.
Yeah, and so anyone like hyperrealism is when paintings look, I mean, just absolutely realistic.
There's
like
emoji buttons. There's emoji
Oh,
buttons. I
yeah,
just
yeah.
noticed.
I didn't notice that at
That's
first.
really funny.
Yeah, it's got a lot of nice little touches, and the dude's like art is pretty impeccable.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's
It looks
top
really
notch.
real.
Yeah.
There's a scuba thing with built-in headphones.
Scuda, the self-contained underwater DJ apparatus.
This Super 8 telephone one is one of my favorites because I had a Super 8 camera like this that I played with as a toy that didn't work and stuff when I was a kid.
Oh yeah, nice.
So to see that era and the way that it has that like 60s, like mid-century scrapes, but it's still like molded out of piece of like die-cast steel. So it's as durable as like a Matchbox car.
Yeah, I like the touches too of all the wear
Yeah.
and tear, the little nicks and scrapes like along the bottom. There's all those little nice realistic scrapes, and like even the phone cord looks dusty.
Yeah, it's a nice
Like
touch.
all these little details are just so incredible, really.
This one, it's like a cash projector.
Yeah, old school cash register that you would hear the ding ding all that shit from. And
With
it has like
projector
the
time.
push, the
Yeah.
actual like push buttons that stick in, and yeah,
The
those
buttons
guys.
have to be shoved inward.
It
and-
pops up the little tickets with the amount at the
Yeah.
top. That 25. It's yeah, dang, that's old school. It looks hella rusted, but damn, dude is just
Here's the track skate. It's like it looks like an old football shoe, but with tracks on the bottom, like a
tank treads.
tank treads. Thank you.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Hey, you can see these at the greasyconversation.com without the. The wheeled level, this one's really funny. Like, this would never be a thing.
Yeah, I know.
It's like a level, like a theodolite. It's like a telescopy thing that you look at something and then how a dangly thing happens and you can tell
Yeah.
where to steer your ship. But with like a big tire underneath, like it's going to balance on it. It just really looks like two old things mixed together to be funny.
Yeah.
Oh, this camera phone is awesome. It just looks like a camera and a phone smooshed together antiquely.
Yeah, that one's good. I was actually really amazed by the very first painting of the actual camera, the
Yeah.
Leica camera. Man, like you guys just got to check this out. Either go on the news notes or whatever. I
So
mean, it's
big,
like,
too.
man, just like the understanding of color and light and shadow to make it look like, because that shit looks real.
Yeah, to
Like,
find the
I don't
right
care who you are. That shit looks fucking real right there.
beiges and blue grays to make chrome look like that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, and like just the reflection on the metal, man, just crazy. Really insane that people can, like that shit blows my mind. I just cannot fathom how people can do that.
And it's funny because it's so redundant too. Like a photograph would also do this.
Yeah, totally. But it's also like extremely impressive. Like even if it's just of a normal object, you're like, well, shit.
I wouldn't be able to resist making it warp some. Like some part of it just like rubber noodle in a way that camera couldn't do in real life.
Yeah.
Just to surreal it up. Just because you can't. You can do that in that medium and you can't with a photograph as easily. Anyway, holla Daniel. What's up, Buck and Erica? Glad to see you all in the chat. And
Cheer.
I'm not about to. I don't know why I started a sentence that way. I have no idea where that was going.
I'm not
Okay.
about to.
I'm not about to.
Yeah,
That's where we're at.
I love it. What about sheets of meat?
Sheets of meat.
This looks like one of your new.
Well, this is great because it's a follow up to how we're always looking at vat meat progress.
Yeah.
And just a couple days ago, we had massive progress towards the dream of when we will have. I just realized I might have my mic like way quieter than yours. Sorry about. I didn't have my level eye going on. That the
That's-
eye of the volume.
I can just whisper the rest of the time.
It's ASMR. I'm gonna aim the mic up my nose, so
Yeah.
it's that nose audio. So, on that note, sheets of meat. This lab in, where was the place? Germany. They're able to do this stacking process where these proteins stack together, and they did it first with rat proteins. didn't sample that. But when they moved on to rabbit, they did taste the rabbit, and it tasted legit like meat. I have that line highlighted here as they describe in the journal Cells, Tissues, Organs, which is a journal apparently. That's great. Making meat from available lines of mouse cells. Though they did not eat the mouse meat described in the research paper, they later made and cooked a sample of the meat they created from rabbit cells. It felt and tasted just like meat. There's no reason to think the same technology would not work for growing beef, pork, or chicken. And they could tune it. So you could go to a restaurant with like a 3D meat printer and tune like, I want 12% and extensive marbling and like 11% fat. And like, just like we do with milk right now, you can tune the amount of fat.
That's an interesting layer that I hadn't considered before, is like, instead of like trying to replicate beef or chicken at some point, like, will we just have a whole new line of like invented meats, like that are tuned like that are like, I mean, combinations of all kinds, you know, whatever proteins and however they make it.
I
but
love
totally
this
different
point.
flavor from like beef or chicken or anything like that.
Yeah, why stop at recreating these animals that we already could do before when we could go to whole new realms of meat?
Yeah,
There could
man.
be like ostrich, antelope hybrid, and it might be the best. Like, what if liger meat is so good?
Dude, we can actually have jackalope meat.
For real, legit jackalope meat.
Dude, chupacabra meat.
It's just like rabid mangy dog meat. Like that mange flavor.
Yeah,
You can
man.
get that. I wonder if they can even
Want some extra mange.
or that meat that's like buried in a hole for a season, and then it
Oh,
gets
it's like
special.
fermented or something.
Yeah, there's a mold that grows on it, and you
Oh yeah, totally.
simulate that too. The sky's the
Yeah.
limit.
Like super bacon.
Like cruelty-free Limburger cheese. I don't know how cruel cheese can get, but let's just get all the way uncruel.
Yeah, beat the shit out of that cheese.
It's like the cruelty happens after there's no consciousness, so it still helps to beat the meat up after it's like never been alive or conscious. It still needs to be tenderized.
What if there's? I just always envision like groups of people that want to like carry on the cruelty of the meat, but just in a different way, because like it's, I mean, just created meat. So instead of being cruel to the meat, you're just cruel to the people that make it.
Buck brings up that this is gross, but it gets way grosser if I showed the pictures. I'm sparing you. Unbox Therapy or like Lou Later hung out on this for a minute, where it was like, it looked like a baby spoon with like a pink blob in it, because it looked like meat that both hadn't been cooked and also hadn't had like any muscle exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Like melted meat.
Yeah,
It looked like melted.
mush.
Yeah. It looked like melted orange sherbet ice cream in a baby spoon.
Oh man.
But you knew it was meat with like the whitish fat on the edges of it and stuff, but it was like a dollop.
So it's not
so
like
gross.
So it's not like it's that Taco Bell meat that comes out of
Yeah.
a tube.
You could just picture spooning it into your mouth, but it's like uncooked and like it looks like a sushi meat, like a really soft, fatty, like just the
Oh, it
fat
probably
of
looks
Kobe
like
beef.
sea urchin.
Oh, a dollop of sea urchin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I don't know. I can't get into the sea urchin, man. Imagine like people eat sea cucumbers and shit.
Oh,
Man.
sea cucumbers look weird.
Yeah.
Like I want a big one as a pillow, but like in the bathtub, like a hot tub sea urchin pillow.
Yeah,
not
totally.
urchin, cucumber. I don't know where I'm going with the cucumber pillow.
I'd go for the sea urchin pillow.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
it's little. It's got a little mouth, and you can like the little. It's like a koosh ball, but it's alive.
Yeah, spiky koosh ball. It'll stab
Palpable.
your ass.
Palpus is all palping around. We like palpus palpus animals here. All palpy. Getting that palp on.
Palpisating.
Palp game strong.
Yeah, man. All right, on that note, it's
Yeah.
time.
It's palp 30 over here.
Let's give Ireland the soap it deserves. Introducing Dr. Squatch's Irish Cream and Whiskey Soap. Smooth and natural, like dropping a shot of whiskey and cream into a stout beer. You'll smell like a crisp, clean Irish morning with scents of whiskey and muck. With ingredients like potato water, reishi mushroom, milk thistle, Irish moss and stout beer. You'll feel like you're out celebrating with your lads at the pub.
Hey guys, listen up. Receive 20% off all orders $20 or more at Dr. Squatch when you use coupon code RVR20.
Whoa there, cowboy. Is your love life drier than a June sagebrush poking pricklies on a desert cattle's bunghole? Well, look no further, fella. The cavalry has arrived. Spunk Lube. That's right, Spunk Lube. This ain't your average romance jelly jam. Whether you're sharing a 10-up and broke back or flying solo, Tonto, Spunk Lube will have you slinging your Cyclops and whistling out your Dixie. For group parties playing cowboys and Indians or just a quick one around in the chamber, Spunk Lube gets you hydrated for those long rides of bumping uglies into the sunset. Don't put a bounty on your head. Drizzle Spunk Lube instead. That's Spunk Lube, partner.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
And we're back. It's Greasy Conversation on RadioVegas.rocks.
.rocks.
And you can go to that website, .rocks, starting with Radio Vegas, and click on the banners to get your Squatch going, to get some 511 tactical backpack and pants that look good, but you can hike in them. It's a good time. But now, I've got presidential... So I'm doing so much with my mouth to prepare for it because of peanut butter. And that's the kind of professional journalism that I did with this button. Because it's not about the presentation. Look, set that aside. I did some legit research. And I think I got some info that hasn't been put together in one place yet. And it's ongoing. So this is just the beginning of the legacy of this button. So let me begin. Presidential button. So you might have heard that President Trump had a Coke button and that it was recently removed by this new president that has the same first name as me, for better or for worse. Weird flex, but okay. I have to do some scrolling. Okay, here's the button stuff. But it turns out Obama had the button too, and Richard Branson talked about being with Obama and Obama pressing the button to order tea. So here's what the button looks like. In my notes here, you'll see I've had to do like a lot of, there was a lot of posting links and then deleting them and replacing them with newer links. But here I have the button. I'm pretty sure, given the diameter compared to similar objects, the concave tip of the button and the lack of a frame around it, that this, and also the time period, which I'll get into in a second, that this is the button from Radio Shack that was used in this. And it also helps support the time period because this button's from like late 70s through the 80s. And the Radio Shack tip would fit the fact that the rumor is that a quote unquote redneck in Virginia created, excuse me, this button situation. And from what I can tell, the earliest picture of the button is with the two bushes. But I can tell in this photo, oops, it's not this one, that the photo of the two bushes with the button is on what's called the Resolute desk. Why the desk the button is on matters is epic. The story of the Resolute desk goes into the 1800s. And
Oh, wow.
It's crazy what this desk went through. And it's not the first button to be involved in this desk. So we're working backwards. We're all the way back to young Bush. But the reason I can tell this isn't old Bush, not only because young Bush is obviously like president in this. Old Bush, the original Bush, was the only president to use this other ancient desk in the Oval Office rather than this one. There was another president that used a different desk, but otherwise, besides these two administrations where the desk was different in the Oval Office, it was always this Resolute desk. Young Bush brought the Resolute desk back, and the button is on there. So as far as I can tell, young Bush is the first president to have this button, but it could have been in there for Clinton. But some people are reporting, and this is driving me nuts, that this button was Lyndon B. Johnson's. But here's why they're saying it. Supposedly, Lyndon B. Johnson had a system so that he could be warned when the First Lady was on her way to see him. But this button was on his desk, and it summons aides or butlers or valets. You can see also in my news notes on this that there's a few terms that are reported for who is summoned by the button. There's some like inklings that the button was initially for emergencies to summon aides, but as far as I can tell, all the stories of the button being used are more casual things, more to summon a waiter to bring like snacks or drinks, or like have your assistant make a call for you, or general like corporate executive-y stuff. That seems to be the whole history of the button. And this Lyndon B. Johnson button, it's like, why would, unless it was this button and it was in reverse, and someone like some aide in a back room had this ornate wooden thing with a government. The seal of the president is on the box too for the audio people. And the box is almost as big as a shoebox, maybe a shoebox for one shoe. And it matches the Resolute desk. It really, in some of these pictures, it really looks like it goes along with it too well to have possibly been made for a past desk. Another thing I want to talk about, just a side note before we get too far from the Resolute desk stuff. I love how there's a completely different way of arranging two objects on this desk that Trump and Obama did. And as far as just separating yourself from them and just thinking about which is a better way to do it, to put an object on a desk, I'd love to know your opinions on this. So Obama's got his phone in the corner facing him, and the button, and also this other pen holder that I'll get to. Just briefly, in case I forget about it, there's a pen holder on this desk. During Obama's administration, the Prime Minister of England brought this pen holder made out of recovered wood from an anti-slavery ship.
Oh, wow.
That would like battle slavery somehow. And that's been on the Resolute desk since. And they're arranged very rectangularly, almost like Swedish. Everything's like squared up with the corner of the desk, the phone facing him, then the pen holder, and then the button sideways, which the way the seal is facing, it actually makes sense for this wooden box to be sideways. But Trump tilted it so that the phone is like ergonomically angled at him, and it's a double wide phone with the sidecar, and then the button is right next to the phone, very functionally sideways with the button facing him. So if you like separate yourself, oh gosh, excuse me, actually it's not a sidecar, it's just two phones. And then Biden here has them staggered too, but like they're diagonal, which is more functional than Obama having them kind of tilted. This isn't politics. This is ergonomics and design.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, yeah.
Why is that? Is that Les Claypool? What?
Les Claypool. Well, also, I think a thing to consider, too, would be, like, how often each one used the button.
Yeah.
And, like, why is probably part of why it's there. You know what I mean?
For sure. And so, to circle it back, I don't think this is Lyndon B. Johnson's button because it doesn't appear like it was made to not match this desk. The first report of the button, to go even further, is Kennedy. And Kennedy added a button under the desk to trigger tape recorders. These tape recorders wouldn't be found out until 11 years later with the Watergate hearing.
Oh, yeah.
But in between those, after Kennedy was assassinated, someone must have snuck this gear out of there because the desk went on a museum tour. And it's part of like a presidential artifact thing. And that's because this desk, the Resolute desk, has an insane history.
Hold on, I gotta bring it back to something. We gotta go back to this comparison real quick.
Yes.
So if you look at the bottom of those pictures, the one with the two bushes.
Yes.
And there's one that zooms in, and W seems to have the box at a weird sideways angle, but close to the phone, like closer to him, and not squared up.
Well, and that's the way the seal faces.
Yeah.
So the seal is actually facing sideways so that the button is on the right side of the box rather than the side facing you.
But it seems like it doesn't cross with any... It just seems at a weird angle to me.
It also seems wireless.
I'm calling foul on Bush's ergonomic placement.
It's
Like
not a logical way to put it.
I mean, it seems
except to
like
look at the. Well, he probably didn't use it much because the way he has it put, it's more to look at the seal than functionally push the button as much.
I don't know, man. It's
It's
funny
little, too.
angle. It's a funny angle.
Yeah.
Of course, W would put it at a funny angle. All right, anyway. I just had to.
We're not making this political. It does.
I mean,
match-
it's not. I mean, just from the way the guy talks, you can
Yeah.
tell. Like you're like, okay, that guy would not put. It wouldn't be like square or at any
Yeah.
consistent angle or something. Yeah.
You know, it kind of has an arc along with the phone, and also, but you can tell there's no wire going to it. It would block the wire in these other photos.
Yeah.
But
that's
that
true.
photo, you can tell for sure, no wire, which also makes it more like late 70s or through the 80s. I think it was put in the 80s at the latest. It could easily have been, what is it, late 80s, early 90s that we have the Clinton. Clinton was early 90s.
Yeah, it would have been Bush before that.
It's driving me nuts that I can't
Papa
tell
Bush.
if it's young Bush or Clinton, but it can't be Papa Bush because there's no pictures of it on his, I think it's SO desk. It's a different desk that Papa Bush had. It's in my notes. So, Bush Jr. presidency is the oldest one I can find. I'm seeing if there's another major note on this. But so I'm still unable to find which presidency introduced it. I'm unable to confirm that it's wireless, but I'm almost positive it is. The date of the
Seems like
button,
it.
it's a button that I could buy as a kid in the early 90s and 80s. So given that I'm not seeing the wire and it's probably wireless and it probably uses like a generic, remote push button kind of thing that's just been available since then. Almost like a garage door opener, but like the classic kind. And it seems to be homemade. It's also made out of one piece of wood. It's not 4 panels. You can see
Oh yeah, totally.
in another picture that I don't have handy right now, the grain on the side of it continues into the front. And you can tell by following the grain that it was one wooden block that was carved out the back. And that also fits the kind of button that I found, because this button has a deep neck that it would need to have to get down in there.
What if like this was the only thing that came from that tree that they cut down? They're like, no, you can only make this one little box that holds the presidential button. You better throw that fucking tree away. If I find out even a toothpick was made from that tree, you're all go into prison for the rest of your life.
It summons the president only. This tree is only for presidential summoning from the president. So there was the HMS Resolute was a ship that was abandoned in Melville Sound in 1854 while searching for John Franklin and his lost expedition. It was found a year later floating in the Davis Strait by George Henry, which was an American whaling ship. The Resolute, which is still a ship here, it's not the desk yet, was repaired and returned to England as a gesture of goodwill from the United States. After it served in the British Navy another 23 years as a supply ship, the ship was decommissioned in 1879, and it was broken up to use the wood for other stuff. But a competition was held to design and build a piece of furniture that Queen Victoria could give back to the American president. Could kind of like return the history of this goodwill that we returned this ship to them.
Yeah.
That we found. And made from the timbers of this ship. When this desk was made in 1880, it was given to President Rutherford B. Hayes. So it's already had this crazy history, but after a couple presidents, it was placed in the broadcast room where Eisenhower used it for the first like radio and television broadcasts to the American people.
Oh wow.
And then Jackie Kennedy rediscovered it languishing under electrical equipment and brought it into the Oval Office. Lyndon Johnson was the one that supposedly... So Kennedy had the button for the tapes. Lyndon Johnson supposedly had a wife alert system. And all this was pulled off the desk when it went on a tour put on display by the Smithsonian. Jimmy Carter brought the desk back in the Oval Office in 1977. But then H.W. Bush used the C&O desk. But immediately after that, the Resolute desk was put back in the Oval Office. Why this matters is 77 is a time when this box could have been made. but it doesn't fit going through the older bush and the other desk. So that's why I'm like dying to know if this is a young Bush or a Clinton era box installation. And I wanted to know if it was initially for emergencies, but it seems like it was always summoning butlers or something like that. Anyway, it's a weird thing to become obsessed with, and I lost probably 6 hours of my life to looking stuff up about it, so that I could hopefully save some of you from some of the wonder. But there's still mystery and wonder about it that we're going to report on briefly in further episodes. But as far as I know, there's a don't listen to your idiot friends talk about how any other specific like president put it there, like, or it's recent, or it's just for beverages, or any of these misconceptions. We're setting the record straight here as real journalism things.
It would be like such a silly thing to like insist on. You know, if you're like, oh no, I'm the first one that ever thought of a button to summon someone to give me a drink.
Yeah.
No one ever thought of that before.
It's who was it? Matt Lars Ulrich, Matt, yeah, Lowry,
Yeah, Matt Lars Ulrich.
Yeah, someone like that. I mean, Erica just mentioned it in the chat earlier. On, I believe it was on the YouTube chat, that was like one of those buttons on the desk that just made the door lock. It was creepy. The creepy executive.
Oh
lock
yeah,
people in
because
button.
he got busted like for.
And for like trappy.
Yeah, like trapping.
Not the
women in his
dope
office.
music, the bad kind of trapping.
Yeah.
Non-consensual trapping.
Secret trap artist.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. I wonder, so if this button, like, what do they do if the button breaks? They got to just get a different button? They're like, oh, no more of that button.
What if that's the only reason Biden had it removed? It's like, oh, Trump broke it spitefully. Trump took the battery out. It's like, oh, no lemonade.
You know how much batteries are? Of course I'm taking the batteries.
Yeah. A few people mentioned that one of the things that he asked for, like in his rider for Joe to come in president, was Diet Coke and Coke Zero. So it's not like he's going to have a different diet or anything.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And not that I'm like favoring anybody, but, you know, presidents are dumb. Did you know that's different carpet in the Oval Office every president? Which makes sense. Like, of course, replace that. It's gross. But
yeah,
it's a different color and pattern for each president. It's really interesting.
Yeah, I never really think of like how much customization probably goes into like each administration, or like how much actually changes over.
Guess what the price range of these carpets usually are? I'll give you a clue. It's like 5 figures.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like 5-figure carpet that goes in each administration. As far as I can tell, it's not like a dramatically different from president to president what's spent.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not cheap carpet. Especially if it's there for like only 4 to 8 years. And it's like, it costs like the price of like a Model 3.
Damn, man.
So, on that note, let's put a bow on the button. And move on to something else.
Yeah. So what is this? You have this in. This was one of yours, I think. The Caveman anti-static thing that Amazon's selling.
Well, this came up because I'm dealing with static being a concern with some electronic stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd heard about anti-static wristbands that were wireless. And it seems like, how would that be possible?
Mm-hmm.
You know? And it turns out it's not. They're not real. I mean, they're a real product. You can buy them.
But it doesn't do what it says.
In any kind of laboratory testing that I can find anyone doing anything scientific to find out if this device grounds you in any way that would prevent you from static discharging into like an exposed circuit board, it does like none of that. It conducts. It's conductive. It's the exact same wristband that we have bought to then have a wire go from it to actual ground. I love that it's named Bro, too. Bro,
Yeah.
anti-static, bro.
Anti-static, bro.
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. But it's just smart enough. Like, there's a resistor in there, and that's like it, but it doesn't go to anything.
Nope.
So if you touch this screw to something grounded, you will have grounded yourself, but you could just touch the grounded thing, too.
Yeah.
So there's no attempt even to explain how these work. I totally looked up any kind of explanation of how it could discharge static, and there's none of that. You only bump into people claiming it probably can't work, and people saying that like, oh, well, none of my stuff broke yet. But the truth is, you can shorten the lifespan of a device with static shocks that you can't even see. And you won't know for years that it failed any sooner because of you or not. So when dealing with like static safety and exposed stuff that's static sensitive, you really like it's easy to be fooled and think that you're safe and everything's fine. But there's things that just, I've had things fail that shouldn't have failed after not being careful enough with them, cramming them into plastic boxes and stuff with these little postage stamp sized microcontrollers that I'll build projects with. And having something like this doesn't save you, and it should be illegal. It's like technically this is illegal, and Amazon shouldn't have this on their thing, but no one's making a stink about it besides in the comments and the reviews. And look, it still has 3.5 stars. But if you go to the ratings, there is 26% 1 star.
Yeah, like literally everyone is trashing on it.
Yeah. There's the 1 stars almost as much as more than half the way to the 5 stars. The 5-star ones, you can pad the crap out of a bunch of fake 5-star reviews. But you should never see more than a quarter of the people have 1 star.
Yeah.
If like you buy 4 of them and one of them sucks, it's not a good product. But it still looks like 3.5 out of 5 stars. So watch out for stuff that's not 4.5 stars. Even then, watch out for things that are really padded, like cell phone accessories are commonly crazy padded with false reviews. 112 ratings. Out of 112 people that rated it, a quarter of them have like talked actively about it not working.
Yeah, totally. Well, I do like at least like the customer questions and answers part.
Yeah.
Like all of those say like it does not work. So
it cannot work. I tested it.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. The only customer image is an oscilloscope picture of like a side-by-side of equally bad static discharge happening. Do not work with this if you work on ESD sensitive electronics, which is specifically what it's for. So king win, king fraud. You heard it here, not first at all. Bro, don't buy the Bro wireless wrist strap. Bro. So you protect yourselves from static discharge literally any other way.
Because usually products that are called Bro, you know, they're going to be like great.
Yeah, it's usually a sign of extreme quality.
Yeah.
Real talk though, metal cases are usually grounded. There's all kinds of opportunities to touch something grounded, to even protect some regular equipment. Like I've touched a mouse before and burned out part of a computer after walking across desert carpet time.
Really?
This was not a new computer. This would have been like
Okay.
something Pentium era.
Still,
But
though,
yeah.
it seems kind of
I've worked
through the
on,
mouse.
who's working in Geek Squad, you hear of all kinds of static issues that people bump into. Just anything that can happen will inevitably happen, even if the chances are low. Laptops would have like USB ports fail, things like that weren't protected as well in the early days. Now there's like optical isolation and things like that to where you're isolating the glands of your computer, your ins and outs from the real dangers of the outside world more than you used to be.
All right, I got this is a good story. I found it. So a woman goes to the grocery store. She leaves. I think they said she left the car running with her toddler in the back seat. Like keys in, car on. She goes into the grocery store, and then of course someone comes and steals the car. But he notices that the kid's in the back seat, so he drives back and finds the mom and just bitches her out for leaving the kid in the back seat, gives the kid back, and then takes off. Like, I mean, I'm glad they.
Where do I
Some
find
car
this
thieves-
story?
It's toward the bottom. It's like almost as. I just put LMAO.
Oh,
That's the
gotcha.
title. Yeah.
Thief. Okay.
Yeah,
This
which
is
I'm just
insane.
glad. Like,
Was he caught or whatever? Because most stolen cars get found, especially in Vegas. It's weird. I think people either don't hang on to them or this town's really good at tracking down stolen property. Probably both of those.
yeah. Well, this
What?
was in
This
like
is
Portland.
only ads. This is only ads. Here we go. In like a paragraph. Thanks, Portland.
Yeah, they said the car was found a few hours later, but they didn't find the guy. I guess. So, but that's a classy move.
People aren't all
from a car
bad.
thief. It's true.
Things aren't black and white. People aren't just as simple as all bad or all good. Most people are mostly good. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the progress that humanity has always steadily had. If there wasn't like mostly good people that are mostly good all around us with mostly good intentions. And just like statistics that mean that when something bad can happen, it inevitably will. When the odds are that mostly good will happen, things will mostly get better.
Oh wait, here's a good. Here, I didn't read this earlier. Here's a good one. So he actually lectured the mother for leaving the child in the car and threatened to call the police on her. Damn, that dude. I wonder if like he got left in the car when he was a kid, and that's why he hates cars so much that he has to steal them from everyone.
Oh,
Like
man.
there's always
There's
it's-
always one of those.
Yep, Freud was right. Not really, but you
Can
know.
we go to the? Can we have a quick bite of this Mercedes bike? I
Yeah,
opened it and then closed it again.
yeah. You just wrote Merc bike. I thought it was like a mercenary bike,
Thank you. I'm glad I left it.
like a bike
spooky
that
like
was a
that.
mercenary. Only the motorcycle is the mercenary.
Oh, I love how this video starts blurry to really trip with you. So, ladies and gentlemen, the wheels are bicycle wheels, but the rest of this looks like a legit Mercedes.
Oh, what?
Yeah,
You pedal the? Whoa,
Yeah.
dude!
I love
All right.
that you saved
I'm
your reaction to
impressed.
this one. This is great. We're getting a fresh Greg reaction.
I'm actually kind of impressed. It's like slightly more advanced Flintstone mobile.
Yeah, and it gets around. I mean, these streets are all flat. It's so cool looking. So
I bet people would be pissed though, because you aren't gonna be pedaling very fast. Like, don't. I know they're just cruising down the street just to like get some shots or whatever.
yeah, there's some people that probably be honking. See this bulb right here, this blue bulb?
Yeah, yeah.
That's just a horn that you squeeze to honk, like any other bicycle.
Yeah, classic bike horn.
I love that there's switches here. And this, do you see it right above it? That's a bike odometer.
Oh,
See how
yeah.
That
okay.
part grabs the handlebars. Let me see if I'm broadcasting this right. Yeah. That's so funny. They really put some cool stuff in here. Look, there's another bicycle button situation with the ring, how it's supposed to go around handlebars there.
Are those like the hydraulic switches?
Those switches, I'm pretty sure, go to lights.
No.
I'm imagining, because I don't think there's any hydraulic situation on it.
I mean, I just imagine like, it starts dancing around,
Oh, that would be
Just pop the front a
so
little bit.
cool.
busting some wheelies.
This interior is no joke either. I switched videos by accident. So cool.
Yeah, at first I was like, Merc bike, what the fuck? I'm like, oh, okay. I got you now.
The passenger
I'm
steers
picking it
too. That's partly.
And the passenger pedals too, yeah.
There's people honking at him and like passing him pretty abruptly.
Yeah.
This is so cool. The transmission-y thing with the pedaling. I want this so bad. Just
Right?
for lulz.
Yeah.
This on the strip, man. So if they could reproduce these and rent them, pay so much to rent this just for the video.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
It's a cool idea. It's a cool novelty.
It's all metal framework, so it looks like tent poles all throughout the inside of it for you audio folks. But it still has gull-wing doors.
So, well, it's got the framework so that you can have the illusion of safety so that when you get T-boned, as you inevitably will, because everyone gets T-boned once in their life,
Everyone gets T-boned.
then you'll be like, oh, I don't have to worry. I've got this nifty metal frame before your soul is crushed. which, you know.
And your spleen. Everyone is T-boned.
All right, on that note,
Hey there, friends. This is Dan to tell you about Pinche's Tacos. They got a simple mission: provide you with the best taco experience in high-quality meats, seafood, fresh garden vegetables, handmade tortillas, and high-quality artesian bread. They've got a happy hour from Tuesday to Saturday, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Featured specials: $4 draft beers, margaritas, well drinks, $5 glass of wine, and $2 tacos. Show them the Radio Vegas Rocks app and Pinche's coupon. When you order a blood orange margarita, you will receive a free Gringo taco. There are several locations to choose from, even in Los Angeles. Pinche's Tacos.
People love Dr. Squatch soap, and they want to share its glorious scent with everyone. But that can get awkward.
This is a little weird, even for us, but it smells amazing.
I agree, Mike, which is why Dr. Squatch is making all-natural handcrafted candles now. The same all-natural quality ingredients, now with a wood wick to transform your home into a squatchy paradise. Go to drsquatch.com and get your handcrafted Squatch candle today.
Hey guys, listen up. Receive 20% off all orders $20 or more at Dr. Squatch when you use coupon code RVR20.
Hey, Radio Vegas Rocks listeners. It's your favorite habitual line stepper, Sober Sal from the Not Playing Stupid podcast. For those who know me, I'm all about barbecue. The problem I always run into is finding a place when I'm out of town that is 1, amazing, and 2, won't cut into my drinking money. So next time you're in Vegas, you gotta check out Jesse Ray's Barbecue. Jesse Ray's Barbecue is an award-winning barbecue joint that serves Vegas's best slow-smoked ribs, chicken, pulled pork, hot links, and my favorite, brisket. Trust me when I say it's not just good, it's delicious. So before you blow your kids' college fund at the roulette wheel, or marry the chick you met 5 hours ago while playing Keno, make sure you do it on a full, happy stomach at Jesse Ray's Barbecue, located at 5611 South Valley View Boulevard, right behind the Mandalay Bay Casino. Mention you heard this ad from my show, and you get a free punch in the mouth from sweet old Jesse Ray herself. That got some kick. So don't forget Jesse Ray's Barbecue, where they're all about that butt.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Hey everybody, it's Greasy Conversation, the talk show on RadioVegas.rocks. We've got dank news. Behold! So dank, so moist. It's literally stuff you should have known already, but you didn't put the work in, did you? And we did for you, so you could be cool to your friends and neighbors. When they're like, what's going on with this? You'd be like, shh, I knew what's been going on with that. Science is what's been going on.
Standing on the corners like, hey, dank news. You almost some dank news. I got that dank news.
The dankest news. Like, for example, you might have just heard about that, like, metal monolith that everyone else was talking about weeks ago.
Multiple metal monoliths now.
Yeah, you've probably heard about a few of them if you've been on our tip, not just hearing about only one monolith like some late to the monolith party person. And we've got the latest monolith news. Another artist made one that is similar dimensions, but it's made of pretend ice with a caveman inside. So here it is. I'm embiggening it for you all to see.
Yeah, and I guess he used it for some like one-time event that he made it for, and then after that he just had it, so he decided to
just dump it next to a trail in a park.
Yeah, and so of course it's like,
this is so great.
Snowing, so it looks like it's just a big block of ice stuck in the middle of the snow
with a person in it.
Yeah. So, and then of course, some other guy found it, which I'm glad there's I'm glad there's artists doing this stuff. I think the whole world should be like interactive like this.
Yeah, the whole world should be interesting and fun, and that's why we need art and expression and mystery and wonder. And it's these kind of things that inspire the minds that then help us fly through the air and heal the sick and scan with magnetism the tumors inside us and all kinds of crazy miracles we can do with science now that starts with just having some play and some wonder. and some messing with each other. You know, this also reminds me in the fact that there's like some dishonesty to this. Like, this is a prank. There's not a real Iceman in this block of ice.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to prank my friend's sister's girlfriend's sister's neighbor. And we were like, this is how you're going to be like stronger from if you get used to people saying made up things to you and not believing it, then you get on the game of making up things and trying to get us to believe something you made up, and you'll be able to spot it when it's happening to you in a dangerous, dishonest way.
Mm-hmm.
You won't be as gullible and you'll be safer. And that's why it's important for like siblings or people in like sibling roles to play deceitful games with each other in like a fun way, and like not the wicked games kind of thing.
Got to get that mental manipulation
Yeah,
in early.
The fun way. But like not there's a way to do this mean. I'm not thinking of an example.
Yeah, I think like one of the best ways, like the first one you got to start with, is tell your sibling that they were adopted.
Did you do that?
No. I think it would be a good
Immediately
move.
take it too far.
Yeah. Be like, oh yeah, you're adopted, and mom and dad don't love you. They're just waiting to sell you.
Waiting to.
Just no one wants to buy you though. Look at you. Damn. Surprised I wasn't a terrible sibling. Maybe I was. Holy shit.
Whoa, you just
Fuck,
realized
dude.
now.
Fuck.
Your brother thinks you're okay, although he isn't smiley. If your
It runs
siblings,
in the family, I think.
yeah, you don't run around grinning.
Yeah, I'm usually not smiling. I have severe resting asshole face. Where I've like met people who later I became friends with, and they admitted to me that when they first met me, they thought I was an asshole and they just wanted to punch me.
How unfortunate.
Yeah, multiple times, like different people. So
You know why that didn't happen
Genetic.
with us? Because almost immediately we were talking about fractals and the Fibonacci sequence.
yeah, totally.
And that's when you get smiling.
Yeah, I don't know music. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just delving into music.
Well,
Yeah.
and battles, like music that had Fibonacci in it.
Yeah,
It was
totally.
like part of it too. Yeah. If you don't know about that Fibonacci sequence, it's a great way to make friends.
It's true. So people should do some art installations out in the wilderness for someone to find. Like,
Let's pull some information, some ideas in the Greasy channels. You know, we have a Discord now.
It's true.
I want everyone to go look up. You can find it. I'll link it. And
I should put a link in the notes.
yeah, I'm going to have to put a link in the notes later because I'm not super good at Discord yet.
Yeah, neither am I.
So I'm only barely learning how to link it, and I'm going to talk to y'all there. But I'm going to put exclusive content in there to motivate all of us to prepare, and we'll disciple it up, and we'll make some crazy art together with these pooled ideas. I'm ready to community it a little harder than I said I would last time I said this about the show. We're going to turn up the community like a notch, gracefully or gently or slightly yet.
I got the first installation.
Yeah?
It's going to be great. All right.
What are you going to install?
Okay, so we make fake, extremely realistic dead bodies. All right, and we just bury them. All right. And it'll just be like, it's like a scavenger hunt with the police. But you know, it's art. So everything will be okay in the end. Be like, you know, I know we just staged some fake murders, but
For decades, people were like, oh no, oh, this isn't real. This is rubber.
yeah,
And for like days, they're like investigating.
I never know.
And finally, an expert has to come in and be like, it's another one. You guys,
Well,
we're
once
in.
we get that 3D printing meat technology, I mean, making, you know, a human corpse, like that should be possible. Maybe
But
the
brings up-
technology will be there.
Bots. I'm totally with that. But bots can mean so many things. So I'm really excited that Buck's like, bots, all the bots. I mean, have you seen those cubes that hop? You guys have to see the hopping cube bots. So the idea is that if you shrink this down, that you can make bots that self-assemble. Because in order for us to colonize another planet, we can't send materials and work people and get all the infrastructure built as efficiently as we could if we have robots go over there that can self-assemble more robot workers and that they can then build habitats.
Yeah, seed factories, man. Oh, that's the thing that stays balanced on its corner.
This is one cube that can jump up and balance. There's another video where there are multiple colored cubes that are about, let's say, half this size that also jump and stack. This might be the same product when we get it further into it. But they'll use gyroscopes. The fact that this cube can like already kind of get up and walk is already crazy.
Yeah, it's definitely some. I mean, that's been in sci-fi movies before, like walking blocks like that assemble something.
The jumping one though, that are the color ones that jump and climb, they are so crazy. This might be like just a more advanced fella that's climbing more than these early ones. Magnets were involved. Oh, it's just so cool. But you shrink that down, you have it kind of, grow in your backyard. You water it and give it lots of sunshine.
They make great friends.
Yeah, it can assemble this like weird Lego looking block buddy. It'll look like this like Minecraft homie, and you can play chess with it. And
that's it.
Yeah, it'll read you stories. What else can you do? It'll do.
You can play chess again.
I was gonna say dishes. That seems like a recipe for cubes breaking your dishes.
Yeah.
Maybe Roomba feet. All kinds of robots should have Roomba feet. Why don't your feet also vacuum?
Right.
What are we doing? Feet should vacuum too.
Should have vacuum shoes, man. I don't know.
Vacuum shoes.
I don't know what these people are doing. Not inventing vacuum shoes.
Vacuum shoes. Okay, so they can announce videos. They can give people. Oh, he means bots, like just text bots.
Yeah.
This could get really fun. When it was hip to put video games on your graphics calculator, I made a talking program that would just pick like slot machine style the first half of a sentence, a noun, a verb, and just put this sentence together by randomizing like 3 or 4 parts of a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
And it would make up all kinds of fun, silly sentences, and we put our friends' names in it and stuff.
Yeah.
That was a really fun, stupid bot that I really want to bring back. I've done some chunks of it in certain websites where like there was a saying on the website and the saying would change, but it was always like predetermined sayings rather than this whole randomization. YouTube is a bot. Buck mentions it's not untrue. Whoa! Have you? There's going to be a new Spotify shuffle button. That's a new way to spot your not Spotify. Of course, there's already a Spotify shuffle button. Netflix is getting a shuffle button. That's what I was trying to say.
Oh, just to like random, like
Yeah.
a discovery type thing where it just randomly plays shit based on. I always thought like Netflix's algorithm was pretty crummy though, or like maybe
Depends
I
on
don't know,
how
my
much you
taste
feed
changed.
it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because you are what you eat algorithmically. It's like the people that complain about what Facebook puts in their feed. Well, stop pity liking. If you're just liking something because you feel guilt tripped into liking it, but you don't want more of it in your feed, then you're gonna get more of it in your feed and stop complaining.
I
You probably pity like. I'm getting all mad.
honestly I like can't believe that's a thing.
Yeah, I mean, I will like if I'm feeling some sort of way, I'll bust a like, and then it'll feed me more stuff to feel about or whatever, and it's all people I care about, so that's fine.
Yeah.
But I don't like click the angry icon because it's still showing support of the thing I'm saying I'm angry about, and I'll get more stuff to be angry about.
Yeah, because like that gives that probably, or people react more to that stuff and are probably like more willing to be like, oh, I'm angry. Let me feel better about being angry real quick.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole psychological thing about being addicted to anger and fear, like through news. Like it's a legit thing because it triggers major dopamine release when you like
And
feel.
they blame the platform, and they blame it like they blame drugs that they should just find a way to avoid rather than if they're going to keep blaming it.
Yeah.
Like if I feel like if I blame something on a thing I'm doing, then people are going to tell me to stop doing that thing. So I'm going to go ahead and not blame stuff on something that I don't want to change anyway.
Yeah, I think it's like a complicated subject, and there's a lot of different layers to it. With like, yeah, they're just a platform that lets people say what they want. Like, do they have any responsibility to it? You know, and like freedom of speech, all that. Should people be able, like, part of my whole thing with freedom of speech is like, no one wants the responsibility of speech as well. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're like, we can just go say whatever, even if it's made up shit and affects people with like mental health issues to do dangerous ass shit. But hey, you know, I can just.
Yeah, I like that there's a barrier of entry to platforming now. That like taking away the ability, like a private entity that's a platform that's spending money to elevate public speech is not breaking like freedom of speech law by policing what's allowed in its platform any more than I'm breaking a law about public property and determining who I allow into my house or not.
Yeah.
And then you have a place of business like a mall. You can't just let anyone freedom of speech it up in like private, like business places where people want to do commerce and do other things.
Yeah, totally.
Public squares, just like a public internet and a public telephone system, allow freedom of speech, but you have to commit to making an intimate connection with small groups of people until you've made something significant communication-wise enough to be elevated on these other non-public platforms. It's like you have to earn it. So I don't have sympathy for people that are having a hard time elevating ideas that no one likes.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Like, get a fucking clue, dude.
I have sympathy for ideas that no one likes that more people should, but there's a certain vetting process, like a jury of your peers, that are going to allow inevitably some of these ideas to thrive. It's a shame that it's slow, but we already live on both a cellular level and on a societal level in a situation that allows mutations and allows weirdos and allows evolution in that way. Because if it weren't for the risk of cancer from cells mutating, we wouldn't have the adaptations that we have genetically to keep living as a species and adapt and overcome. And the same thing happens intellectually. We have to allow some dissenting voices and elevate some weirdos to give them a chance. But after you've heard them out a couple times and they're just trying to like make a sex cult or steal your money, then the freedom of speech thing, like they played that card. You're done.
Yeah.
Deplatformed.
Well, and there's always like, you always hear the term too, the marketplace of ideas. I always find like the people who bitch the most about like not being accepted in the marketplace of ideas because the ideas are bad. It's like, well, like that's the point. That's like, you can't just like guilt people into like buying a shitty product just because you want to sell it. Like it doesn't work that way, man.
Hate the player, don't hate the game.
Yeah, shit. Like, if no one likes the shit you're saying, I want like,
who's that on?
It's probably a problem with the shit you're saying.
Boom.
Like, just, yeah. Anyway. Yeah, fuck all that. Fuck it. Fuck freedom of speech.
Yeah,
I'm allowed to say that.
We should be so
Legally.
lucky to have any controversy.
Yeah, totally.
Not like tooting our getting along with everybody horn, and we make huge mistakes and like have to correct things and apologize and stuff. But basically, this
Speak
is a
for
plea
yourself,
for support. We would love to have your support and not becoming something super giant, but becoming something super special to each of you in this community. Without a goal to be like, oh, this is going to be the biggest podcast or whatever. No, this should just be a particularly meaningful podcast, the most treasured, personal, special podcast for you, rather than one that's just for everybody, but not super for anybody. If that makes sense. It's better for this to be a special thing that we share together than for this to be a less special thing that everyone knows about but nobody loves. I'd rather be loved than be universally known. It's
That's true.
Quality rather than quantity of love. So that's what I'm trying to offer with this as a product. And it's totally non-profit. That's a thing. I'm trying to make it profit, but it's currently non-profit. Yeah, what we make with the show goes to keeping the radio station going, basically.
That's funny.
We really appreciate it. Like non-profit, on purpose.
Yeah. That's funny. All right, let's get into some design
Design
flaws
time! Heck yeah,
with
man!
the Galaxy S21. And I know you're more into this, but
I love design. I love industrial design. That's a lane that we tread in. And I love industrial design blunders, especially by Samsung. Because Samsung's great. They're an amazing company. They're just like Sony in the way that Sony's had a bunch of blunders because they make a ridiculous amount of products and they're willing to take risks.
but they also make PlayStation, so
That's the thing. Yeah. But if you don't take risks and you don't risk making blunders and you don't blunder your risks, then you don't do any of the stunts that get any attention. Like if there's not a risk of not landing it, then no one's looking at your skateboard trick. And the same thing happens with cool companies that I really like Samsung and Sony, that have some crap products too, because they risked it. They tried. They freaking try. And this is just a hilarious mistake that comes from there's no like try fail on this. This is just people being distracted and not realizing how people interact with things. So enough teasing. What we're getting at is that on this Samsung, the Galaxy S21, there's a hole for the microphone, like the bottom of many phones do. And usually the SIM card slot has a hole to open it too.
You know those little pokey, quote unquote keys.
It's a hole you're supposed to poke into to get your SIM card in right away when you get the phone. This SIM card slot is on the bottom where the hole for the microphone is.
They're like right next to each other.
Yes. So I'm pulling up the picture now.
Brilliant.
Basically, this is such a perfect picture. So in a nutshell, when you go to, man, look how easy it is. When you go to put a new SIM card in this new phone, you have to stick a poker into this hole to open this tray. I don't know. You all have phones.
Yeah,
Shoot,
you did it before.
Come on.
Fuck.
You've done
Get outta
this.
here.
The microphone hole is right next to this drawer on the other side, and it's more visible. Like I could easily see the microphone hole first, right by the jack. And if you don't see that the little loop-de-loo curvy side of a like pill tip part of this drawer doesn't overlap that hole, then you just poked the crap out of your microphone. just kills me.
I love it. I wonder like how many people ruin the microphone. I'm sure it can't be an insignificant number.
As far as I can tell, and this is like new news, there's enough of a screen in front of the mic that a lot of people wouldn't poke hard enough to actually damage it, feeling that it wasn't going. But you have to poke really hard in that hole to push the tray out. It's like a no joke amount of poke.
No joke amount of poke.
Oh, that's the title.
Yeah. But because I imagine I would probably do this, is that if the tray didn't pop out, then you just gotta poke harder. You know what I mean?
Yes. I poked really hard to get that tray out, where it has to like push past like dead skin build up and stuff.
Yeah. It's definitely like ear piercing poke with a needle, just with a long needle. Just pushing it through. Just poking it. I love it. That's the only major flaw with there's got to be more, right, Samsung?
Hey, not that I know of. This is a flagship product. That's crazy hilarious, though. All the iterations of design that this had to go through. Imagine like all the circuit board layouts and stuff, and then finally the case is coming together, and they're like, "Oh, it's too late to move this slot. Like we have to put the tray there." And then to release it with no like sticker or anything.
Yeah, it definitely seems like a weird spot because most of them are on the
side or the top
by the buttons.
Apparently, it was on the top in the previous model of this phone, which is not pretty. But yeah, I've only seen it on the side.
I always just wonder if like things like this that happen. I know they're like layers of yes men that like someone points out, someone at the bottom of the rung like points out the problem. And they're just going through layers of management. They're like, oh, whatever. People are smart. I'm like, if you like want to rely on your customers to like not notice things that are like that you recognize can be like an issue right away. Like the people who interact with it they're not the people you want to just count on for.
No.
But it's also like a part with the design where like things should be designed so they're like intuitive, you know?
Yeah. Can I have a quick mini rant that's semi-political?
Go for it, man.
It's going to be a quick one. So Trump mass pardoned a bunch of people, right?
Yeah.
Lil Wayne and Kodak Black were pardoned. I didn't know Lil Wayne was in jail. I'm lame. And he was supposed to be in jail for a while, and it was basically like gun paperwork. Same thing with Kodak Black. This was like paperwork that, like, dare I say, like, there's probably huge, major white gun collectors that have bumped into similar paperwork issues and got them sorted out without ending up in prison. And yet these two, like, public figures got made an example of with crazy sentences for something that, like, is a crime of paperwork. There wasn't even any violence committed.
Damn.
It's so frustrating. And I felt really mad that in all the reporting of that pardons and reporting them being pardoned, that it wasn't more highlighted the fact that they even needed to be pardoned and they're in jail in the first place.
Yeah.
Is ridiculous. When there's been so many similarly popular by the numbers celebrities, a lot of them I think are less cool, less influential. I mean, Kodak Black influenced Cardi B's whole style.
Yeah.
It's like, and then you could go on and on about Lil Wayne and his like influence on pop culture. I mean, how could we even have Drake without Lil Wayne? It's just ridiculous. Like I tear up thinking about like a world without Drake. And so the fact that they're in jail upsets me. Yeah, we're going to have a little Drake fight later. Throwing discs at each other. I don't know what that fight looks like, but
right.
But yeah, it's just I'm mad that they're in jail in the first place, and that's the end of my rant.
I saw that and I was thinking like maybe they kept a bunch of tax money from the government and the government couldn't ding them on it and they wanted revenge. Like
that
like
happens too.
Yeah, I was like that was my main thought in that. I wonder if it's like there's some other underlying shit that sometimes you just get people on what you can get them on. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not accusing them of anything, but
so why don't we quickly look at a couple dinosaur things, news, and then fun with synths.
All right. You want to do our last...
Well, before we do the last Bob Thornton, let's look at what you labeled with what I think is one of the funniest words. If not the word totally. I think is the guilty pleasure, funny words. Hey, spam the chat if you want with some guilty pleasure, funny words. In this case, it's the word prolapse. I just think is really funny, but I feel bad thinking the word is so funny. Yeah. So Greg put Jurassic prolapse here because apparently we know what dinosaurs' butts look like. The cloaca.
Yeah, so they don't have
cloaca.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's all the story is. It's just like scientists are able to determine that dinosaurs had cloacas similar to birds, so they didn't have.
It's like a flap. It's a vent flap. The cloaca.
So there's actually no possibility of prolapse. I think. I don't know. I mean, maybe we gotta look into that.
Cloacas. It's my understanding that a cloaca does partially prolapse, kind of go in the flap opens and then like a.
Oh, you got a little quick.
A chute comes out and then.
Got a little quick prolapse to just pop it out.
Yeah, like a lot of dog buttholes go inside out as the poop comes out. It's really cool to see. Like, I'm not going to pull it up right now. This is something that I'm going to let you choose to see or not. But if you like a lot of dogs, like the chute will kind of go in. You know, when you're pulling your jacket off too fast and the sleeves go inside out.
I could picture it 100% right now, man.
I wasn't sure if I was being vivid enough.
You're painting the picture. I'm enjoying it.
Painted.
I'm having a great day now. Thinking about dog anuses.
One more about dinosaurs before we Bob Thornton you out.
All right.
There are probably dinosaur remains on the moon.
I would like to know how they got there, if it is indeed true.
Well, it hasn't been proven yet, but it's more likely than not, given the extinction event that caused the dinosaurs to not be here anymore. The fact that we found the crater, we've dated the event.
Yeah, it's a thing that happened, yeah.
It easily would have flung stuff to go to the moon.
That makes sense, yeah.
It's speculated that an impact with the Earth caused the moon in the first place. But the moon is crazy far away, but this impact flung a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and then once something gets going in space, like it's just gonna keep
keeps
going
heading that
until
way.
it hits the moon.
Yeah.
It only travels until it hits the moon.
It's weird to think that the moon is making a spiral through space as it follows the Earth, and the Earth follows this trajectory, and that the Earth is like spiraling this corkscrew through the galaxy as it circles the sun, because the sun is spiraling around the center of this galaxy.
Yeah, man.
It's like
Orbits.
circles around circles. Yeah.
Orbits, how do they work?
There's like a dramatic announcer moment for like dumbing down any point I make.
No, it is. Yeah, no, it's. I
Oh,
love
that's
shit
great.
like that.
That's literally the title of the shit I just said.
Yeah.
So, want to bob them out of here?
Do I have to?
Have a William.
Hey, Rio Vegas.
Zip Fizz, energy, no sudden crash and calorie, low carb, vitamin B, the healthy energy makes Zip Fizz.
Grape Zip Fizz kind of gave me the idea sitting in the pool on one of them little floaty things with something nice on the side of me. You know, feeding me grapes or something. You know, Grape Zip Fizz.
Zip Fizz, energy, no sudden crash and calorie, low carb, vitamin B, the healthy energy makes Zip Fizz.
Fresh chips and salsa? Yes. Fresh tableside guacamole made the way you like it? Hey, throw a little hot sauce in there. How about the fresh tableside flaming fajitas? Well, friends, are you hungry yet? Ready for the best Mexican food in Las Vegas? Then head on down to Juan's Flaming Fajitas and Cantina. They have two awesome locations, 9640 West Tropicana and also 16 South Water Street in Henderson. Flavors inspired by traditional Mexican dishes like chile rellenos, carnitas, enchiladas de mole, and of course, their famous sizzling fajitas. From tender marinated meats and seafoods to vegetarian dishes and authentic desserts, Juan invites you to come and enjoy your next meal at his restaurant and cantina. Juan's Flaming Fajita and Cantina, 9640 West Tropicana and also 16 South Water Street in Henderson. Don't forget to wash down the food with some delicious cocktails like Manuel's famous margarita or our favorite Tres Amigos tequila. Happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. That's Juan's Flaming Fajita and Cantina, 9640 West Tropicana and also 16 South Water Street in Henderson.
Be sure to get your mix of music. Listen to us with the RadioVegas.rocks app available at the App Store. And check out our VIP card, interact with us in our chat room, and scheduling of our RadioVegas.rocks shows, plus podcasts. It's all available on RadioVegas.rocks app.
Behold, it's a Greasy Conversation. The talk show on RadioVegas.rocks, greasyconversation.com spelled the way you'd expect for the replay and for the news notes and for the video feed. And in this last chunk of moment that we have together, we want to show you the synthesizer stuff we found. It's been a crazy week for synthesis and for drum boxes and for Korg. Dare I say Korg? When we're speaking about sports that I like, my teams, they're like Korg and Fender, and holler out some of your
Korg
corporate teams that you like in the chat. Yamaha, huge Yamaha musical equipment fan. I could talk about it all day.
There is only Korg.
There is only Korg. But seriously, if there's like one group of risk takers, I mean, Roland took some risks with some drum machines too that were flops that later became legends. The 808 comes to mind, 909. But Korg has always been catering to all price classes, kind of like Sony's got expensive stuff and Sony's got cheap stuff. Korg's like that too. There's a nightmarishly expensive Korg stuff like the Triton keyboard, and there's Korg stuff that anyone can throw a couple bucks at, like the Volca series, without being so cheap that they're just straight up toys. It's like entry level, but respectable. And like riding that line, Korg does so well. And now they're bringing it into 3D. And we've got two different examples of Korg going 3D. I want to talk about the older one first, because I feel like this kind of got missed by the mainstream and by musician homies that, I don't know where I was when this happened, but it was around 2013, 2014. Korg released, like, as far as I can find in any research, the first three-dimensional oscilloscope. An oscilloscope, mind you, is a device for looking at sound waves or any kind of frequency situation over time. It charts like a position of, say, like a speaker over time if we're going to look at the oscilloscope of sound situation. But the Nintendo 3DS has that upper screen that does 3D, and Korg already had the DS10 cartridge for the original DS, which we got a hold of after it was featured on Bad Gear, and Greg tried it out and made some cool
It's
stuff.
pretty legit.
Yeah, we should do like a mini review of it.
Yeah.
But I also sprung, it was on the Play Store for a 3DS Korg thing that I didn't know until researching this other cartridge was a thing. I'm spacing on the name of it. Oh, I got it pulled up for you. Here we go. Let's look at it together. So this is called the DSN-12. The Korg DSN-12 is like DAW software and custom synth software that runs on the 3DS. And the craziest part is the 3D oscilloscope. Like these waveforms, as they pulse and beat and do crazy sounds, they fling at your eyes, and it's really, really breathtaking. Like this one, this circly one here to the right is one of the things that seeing that animated in a video in 2D made me want this dang thing. And these bursts where it's like flying at you, it's really epic when like this pulsy analog beat situation is happening. Patch Bay.
I bet, yeah, as soon as like seeing your beats come out in 3D like that.
It's so cool. And I just barely started playing with it, and it's so cool. And I didn't think that Korg could up the ante on 3D and audio, fun music making, electronic audio art.
Yeah, and even that.
And they did.
That cartridge, I mean, the one that I played with, the one that wasn't 3D.
Yeah, it's called the DS10.
Yeah, but man, it's like, man, it's super intuitive and like easy to use. It's like never messing with it before. I picked it up pretty quick and was able to put a little thing together.
Built-in Chaos Pad, which is brilliant because there's already the Chaos Pad hardware right there on the DS.
Yeah, that you can just assign like any of the parameters to on the X and Y that you want. A lot of cool little features.
We've become huge Chaos Pad fans and are like jamming. We've replaced a lot of the heavy duty stuff with delay that happens with Greg with Chaos Pad, having 2 parameters to control the delay with. I've been using Chaos Pad for glitch loops to make drum fills. So you'll see more of that.
Yeah, really handy for that.
Yeah, we've kind of been like cocooning. Like there's been less music output from us, but continuing to do the podcast. But I feel like in that time, there's been like a chrysalis going on. So we're going to start throwing some discs out the chrysalis soon for y'all. Oh my gosh, Philip's in the chat. So stoked to see you, Philip. Holla.
Philip, whoa.
Yeah.
Long time, man.
We hope you're
doing well, man.
Yeah, I hope you're dancing for us in your mind and heart, because our hearts are dancing for you, and our minds are mind-heart dances. Yeah. Speaking of mind-heart dances, can I show something silly that I got? That it's a mixer, and
no,
it has an anime chick on it. Why am I
really?
Yeah, being suspenseful
I guess I haven't
about
seen this yet.
So it's the Maker Heart Just Mixer. I don't really do like reviews or demos or stuff on much, especially something as boring as a mixer. But this one deserves it because it's so cool. Here's the purple edition. As far as I can tell, I can't tell what character this is. But she's like part like purple, I don't know, like fox or something, but definitely humanoid and very attractive.
Well, like fox spirits are pretty like tradition, like Japanese mythology, and they're usually like hot chicks who are sneaky and tricksy.
Yeah, and that's the spirit behind this mixer. Built-in echo, which is actually pretty pleasant if I had to suddenly give myself some vocal verb to, it's some Vaseline on the lens of my vocals, as we all know I need. And sneaky like extra aux input, so it's actually a 4-channel mixer. It's just a sweet mixer, and I love the bravery of having a version of it that's got more pizzazz like this.
Yeah.
Just so into art and design and pizzazz and other cultures of other countries that are also like pleasant to look at. Like
I love
this
that
situation.
it's a just mixer.
Just mixer attitude. Can you guess what country this comes from too? Because China's awesome and they're coming up with some cool products, but this is not from China actually, and it's not from Japan either.
I give up.
Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's great to see creativity and art coming into the tech out of Taiwan. Because I don't know if you all know, Taiwan Semiconductor makes the chips in a bunch of your stuff. When it comes to even the chip that Apple designed all proudly in America that's in all these Apple devices and that new M1 chip, they sent it off to Taiwan Semiconductor, TSMC, to actually make that chip and put it in there.
Oh, wow.
So it's unavoidably a world economy of really talented folk in tech working together. And it's great to see the artists get involved with tech because, I mean, if there's an overarching theme with everything that I try to make my life about is like electronics and art coming together, besides like being nice to each other and stuff. So on that note, let's take a jaunt over to Korg and VR.
Yeah, man.
This is a scoop that you found. Look at the tiny display. Don't you wish there was a little tiny round display on a synth like this? This Korg Miami synth.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a drum box synth thing, and it's not real. It's here in virtual reality with hands virtual touching it.
Yeah, it's just like a whole virtual Korg studio, which I think is just pretty awesome.
It's so cool, and it's cool to see gear that uses components that you can't actually buy. Like, it's hard enough to buy a round screen, let alone like one that would have such thin edges to be on a knob like that. It's really cool.
Yeah, the idea of a virtual studio is just really amazing to me because you can just like change your instruments and your rack setup like with, you know, however many instruments are available. Yeah, check that out, man.
Just walls of TVs to look around.
22 virtual screens to display whatever you want.
And look at this giant oscilloscope
Yeah.
wall behind you. Oh, that's so sick.
So much that, and you just like drag and drop your instruments that you want to jam with, switch them out.
Imagine
right away.
day trading like this. Because you could have all those screens have day trading charts on them.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the future.
Yeah, we have a buddy we need to pitch on that. Dude, Todd has 8 monitors on a computer now. Holla,
Oh, he's
Todd.
up to 8?
Yeah, holla, Todd.
Dang, man.
Holla.
Yeah.
He's up to 8 now.
Getting that monitor game strong.
The monitor game's strong. So
Yeah.
imagine if you could just goggle it up on your cozy chair, and then when you want to trade one, you just reach out and grab that one and like poke at it and
Yeah, that'd be cool.
go along.
I want to know if there's like, if there'll be a like VR program where I can like be a virtual Korg.
You
Like
want to
synth.
be the box.
I want to be a synth.
Have someone twist your nipples and stuff.
Yeah, man. Twist that left nipple knob. Crank it.
Be a synth. I'm still processing that, man.
Trying to be a synth. Yeah.
Weirdest fetish ever. Not that
Right.
it's even a fetish. It's just like a.
Not yet, it isn't. You can get it on ground zero, man.
Yeah, like. What even else? You just make some sounds.
Yeah, man. You can just, but you have to pretend. You just have to like make the wacky Korg sounds with your mouth.
Whoa.
Meow, 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 meow. Yeah, I love it. I love it. All right, how about this? Is pretty incredible. New gene therapy allows paralyzed mice to walk again.
Can you believe this?
So they, what the hell did they?
The video
Can't remember
is
what it's called,
sad
but-
at first and then happy because at first you see a mouse walking around with only its front half working. And you're like, oh, bummer. And then you see the same mouse at first kind of drag a leg and then get it together and then start using the back legs to walk too.
Yeah, they had to like create some kind of protein, I think, that can
Yes.
act to repair
It's a
like
cytokine.
nerve fibers in the spine.
Cytokine effectiveness at repairing damaged spinal axons.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's just
They injected the mice with a virus, and this virus contained the necessary genetic code for the production of this HIL6. And the virus is delivered directly into their cortical mononeurons, which are easily accessible and communicate with other parts of the central nervous system that are much harder to reach, yet which are vital for movement process like walking. So they are linked via axons to that Ralphie nuclei that I'm reading about here. Obviously, I mispronounced that. And sit within the brainstem and are primary producers of serotonin. And that's significant since it plays a role in locomotor recovery following spinal cord injuries. So, hey, if your spine's being all bad and it's neurons and stuff, you can have some like 5-HTP, some theanine, some serotonin precursors, and it probably wouldn't do what this axonal regeneration virus does.
Yeah, this stuff trips me out. Like, there's also, they've been working on, I think it's like Japan or India, but a way to restore broken teeth.
Nice.
That'll actually like regrow teeth.
2 or 3 weeks too, this spinal recovery situation occurred.
So this, like, there'll be a point in where we'll have that real sci-fi hospital shit where it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I got a little crazy and I removed my left arm accidentally. Can you guys just like regrow that for me? Thanks.
Yeah, don't sew it back on. Throw that old thing in the trash. You're getting a new arm. You're getting a new arm, and you're getting a new arm. You can have an extra arm. You get 3.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're like a tow truck driving backwards. Is that the first thing I think of when like a 3-armed person looks like? You look like an elephant.
Oh man.
There's gonna be weird nicknames for 3-armed people. Like, look at this triple arm dude.
Yeah, and then I see you got in here whale news.
This is weird crypto news.
Yeah, all right.
Did you take a look at this?
I haven't.
So apparently, let me pull this up to get the number right, but it's something like 615 million. So half of a billion, more than half a billion, was moved in a single transaction. This transaction cost $3.
Damn.
That's 17,000 and a half Bitcoin.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, if anyone's been like keeping like banks are starting to get into Bitcoin, like they're all a lot of big movers and shakers are hopping on the Bitcoin train now.
A bank wouldn't make a move like this though. They would want the profile.
They've just been like buying.
It'd be little transactions that would blend in with the rest of the transaction landscape. So there's this whale map software that reported this, that trades whale bubbles. I mean, I'm a little skeptical, but it's something people do.
Yeah, it's true. That's crazy.
Whale map.
Whale map.
This is cool. My mom always loved whales. She's one of those kids, and now they're like hip. It's like it's so fun thinking about like a new animal being financial. Like, we've had bulls and bears and sharks and lions and dragons, but now whales. Cool. What's a manatee? I want to be a trading manatee. That's me. Like, I have like AMD stock. That's I'm a baby manatee.
You just buy it and never think about it again.
I'm sitting on $300 in Bitcoin. Just sitting. Manatee. What animal would that really be? That'd be like a mouse. I'm like a trading
mouse.
Like field mouse, yeah.
Yeah, totally. Oklahoma lawmaker proposes Bigfoot hunting season.
That's going to get human beings shot.
Totally. Establishing an actual hunting season and issuing licenses for people who want to hunt Bigfoot will just draw more people to our already beautiful part of the state. I guess I could see that as an idea to like draw tourists. Yeah.
It's adorable for the marketing situation.
Oh, then you could just make like fake Bigfoot hunts.
Yeah.
With real bullets. Hunt fake Bigfoots with real bullets.
Half mythological creature, half man, all cop.
Dude.
Bigfoot cop.
I want it. I want to watch it.
Cop Squatch.
Oh, that's it right there.
It's real talk though. There's a Sasquatch that we work for. Squatch Soap, Dr. Squatch.
It's true.
He's a hairy doctorate. That fella has. So Dr. Squatch Soap, you rub it on your body, you get clean, you smell better. They have candles now. That's the crazy thing. Oh yeah, I had a candle commercial in there. I'm not sure if I put it in the right pocket.
I think I played that one. But I kind of
Probably
tuned out.
No, I would remember the Squatch candles.
Oh yeah. Maybe I skipped
Regardless, I'm telling you now, we're gonna have an intimate moment where I just personally tell you, Dr. Squatch has candles. You can click on the banner at radiovegas.rocks and get some squatchy scents up in your house. My bathroom smells awesome. I just have to recommend it from experience. What is this surgery and then a grilled cheese sandwich? The ads are crazy here. I scrolled and I saw someone's open torso getting surgery and immediately cut to a pan with a grilled cheese sandwich on it. Dr. Squatch Soap, get it today.
Oh, dude, I've been wanting to tell you that that little, what was it, the little micro router that you showed me that was like photoshopped. That small one, you remember?
Wait, what kind of router? Like road router or like internet router?
No, internet router. You remember that one that was like, you showed me and it was like on someone's fingertip. And it was that little white one. And then we looked it up and it was actually bigger. I haven't seen ads for that.
I remember. It was an ad for what was like a internet range extender for Wi-Fi. And it looked like a tiny router. Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like they were trying to push it as like a router.
It fit in the palm of your hand, but all the ads for it were like silly fake like news articles where someone's holding it and it's like fingernail
Yeah,
size.
like pinching it in between their fingers. Yeah. I've seen actual ads for that like on YouTube. Just cracked me up.
It's just a range extender.
Yeah.
Why is it so special supposedly?
Because we're pretending it's really tiny.
Oh, because it's cute and cute things. Oh, this one is cute though. And this is why there are cute routers. Oh no. Look at this one. Oh, I don't need it and I want it because it's adorable.
Oh, yeah.
It hurts. I don't even know. I can't even take it. Guys, if you're missing the video feed right now, you're missing a really, really cute router.
It's true.
Dang. I wonder what happens if you just put in like cute router though. Really
All
cute
routers should
router.
be cute. All electronics should be tinier than they need to be and just really cute.
There's just these like chibi smiley face ones is all.
They are cute though.
That cat, there's a cute cat on one. Guys, we have to have a moment with some cute tech.
It's true.
Cute tech. It's adorable.
What's this?
That's a toothbrush? No, that's a wooden box to put your router in. It's in a wooden box. Oh, look, this one's got like an ornate little shelf it sits on. Oh.
It's too high class for me.
It's like too old. Like the pattern in the wood is like, it's like conflicting centuries. Like this like wood cutout. It's like a country store router. You know, country cooking kitchen router. Routers are funny. When you just look at routers, you mostly get bits for like cutting wood kind of router. Anyway, we're at the tail end now. Don't leave without making sure you've got the radiovegas.rocks audio feed going after this show, because we've got the grungy faucet next, where we revisit with our good buddy Kevin all kinds of classic grunge era tunes, many of which were like these album tracks that you and your buddies would play for each other, but only had a peep, if ever, on the radio. But from artists that you know and love, there's you might have some classic Chevelle, you know, that's like the cool Chevelle. You know what I'm saying? I've
back
heard
in
peeps.
the day, Chevelle.
Yeah, we might get a Bush peep
before they sold out, man. No, I'm just kidding.
Before they lost their Christian heritage. No offense either direction.
Oh, that's right. They were like, they were
better as a Christian band.
Really?
Real talk, yeah. I'm not saying that anyone should put religion make their music for or against religion. Because, I mean, I love Perfect Circle too. But, man, Chevelle's...
Well, a Perfect Circle, what are they like?
Perfect Circle's profoundly anti-religious.
Okay.
Especially in
that makes sense.
Judith, the not title track, but their breakout song,
Mhm.
and it's you guys know it's the singer from Tool,
Yeah.
and it's great too.
Maynard.
Maynard.
That's how you have to say his name.
What if that's how he made people pronounce it?
I always loved.
I said it disgusted, but I think he's awesome.
Yeah. I always loved because there was always a thing with like there being like secret messages and Tool songs and stuff, with, like the
Yeah.
way they arranged theirs. And then
For sure.
there was some good ones when Mars Volta was still like big, that there were like secret messages back and forth, like between Tool and the Mars Volta.
Mars Volta lyrics, and even more so back in the At the Drive-In era stuff, like that's just only secret messages. It's like
Yeah, it's all just like
the backstory to some
abstract.
of these. It's so overly deep. Abstract is a good way of putting it, where
Yeah.
you're not sure what's the metaphor and what's the specific story.
Mhm.
Like one is about like a killer in El Paso, and someone had to tell me like that's what it was about, and then the lyrics started coming together.
No, you're talking about the first album?
I think this is on Relationship of Command.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That makes
there's
sense.
a
Oh
there's
yeah,
a-
one of the song tracks. Yeah.
The one
Yeah, I
about
wouldn't doubt
the
One Arm Scissor.
no, One Arm Scissor is like has like a broadcasting theme to it. Oddly enough,
Yeah, I think it's got to be about some like space travesty or something, because
because
they
the
talk
One Arm
about like
Scissor is an antenna somehow. You're supposed to send a transmission with it.
yeah.
Whoa. Hey, if you can help us with some
Happened,
Mars Volta and At the Drive-In lyrics, holla.
That's it.
Well, that's it. We've got to send it off to Kevin.
Get out of here, you varmints.
There we go. If I can ever remember which is the song we end the show.
It's all of them, man.
It's all of them, man. I love that attitude. Man, thanks for sharing a positive attitude of growth and growing with us today. Tell a friend. Help learn and
Tell your
grow.
pets.
Tell your pets. Have a long talk with your pets. And be excellent to each other.